PDFs. Have you download the PDFs? Okay. So maybe later you just go through them. It will be more helpful. Okay. For progressing in your SAS. Hope everybody can see this slide. Can? Yes, okay. Because only when somebody inform me by video, I know that was audio, or else I need to come back to chat and check whether there are some updates. Fine. So this is all about SAS essentials. Okay, so I'm not going to go through the slide, right? Just to check what is there inside it. We are going to express this. Okay, we are going to make sure that you practice some of the small code, because SAS is mainly understanding about the codes. Okay, some of the codes are very small but more effective. And when you're able to understand these little codes, right, adding on to it using some SQL queries or maybe along with some procedures will be more essential or more easier as well. Okay. So how SAS thinks, like introduction to data step programming and introduction to SAS procedures, right, will be covered as essentials. And also please make sure that you can also go through the PDF that I have sent. It will be more helpful. So as discussed, we have two basic parts in SAS, right? One is data step, other one is proc step. So as name suggests, data step is mainly regarding storing the data, right? Or we can say creating the data using data file, as we did discuss last class, where we just use some data, right? And then we stored it in a SAS file. So begin with the data statement, input and modify data, create SAS data set, right? And this actually is good with flexibility of programming, right? In the sense like how we can be able to get into some essentials of data. So in proc step, it begins with proc statement, helpful for performing analysis or task. We will be using proc step for producing reports, and like filling out a form can also be used with procs. So in SAS 9.40, there are 234 procedures. So in base SAS alone, there are 66 procedures. So as we know, all the functionalities are available in procedures. We just need to know that these functions are available in these procedures to take much benefit out of it. So procedures perform many tasks. We can start with reporting, right? Statistical analysis, econometric or time series can be done with SAS procedures. Graphics and utilities can also be well performed. So what we are trying to do here is mainly about proc contents, sort, proc format, proc print, proc frequency, proc means, and proc SQL. So SAS procedure, most procedure use the data option, right? So data equal to option in proc statement. So example proc print data equal to students. So if you don't specify data, SAS uses most recently created data set. Fine. Okay, now moving to SAS. Do that, so I need to. Set my tab now, should be easier. So we say proc print data equal to students, right? Okay, so for example, we discussed about in SAS Studio, right? About how to create a file in server files and folders. What are the things in task and utilities? We can use graphs, right? Please explore them in snippets. Much helpful when going with drawing plots. In libraries, you can go with SAS help, right? Where we can have n number of built-in data set, right? So for our example, maybe we can check with cars. So when I click cars, we get the cars data, right? Okay, so now with this car data, how am I going to write a procedure, right? If in case I'm going to write proc print data equal to cars, will I get my data? Remember what we did last class? Sorry. Okay, I just want you to try this statement. I want you to go to libraries. Click SAS help. Go to cards. Just right click on cards or double click cards. Just see whether you can get the data. Getting it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So for currently, because we executed this particular data, where is this going to be stored? Right? Remember, whenever the current data that is executed will always be available in work, right? When you click work, we can see some details over here, right? So in details, I have some values. Similarly, in cars, I have some values. In bin count, I have some values because these are some programs that has been executed currently. For our exercise, we want to go with cars, right? So we are having the data cars in libraries called work. So please take note of it. So in our code, right? So if in case I want to write the procedure to get cars to be printed, right? How am I going to do that? Can anyone help me in this chat? What is the procedure? Proc print data equal to work dot cars, right? Able to get it? We always get the intelligence. Okay. Once you finish this, please execute with run. So right? Are we able to understand this code? So this is proc. Print is one function. We're using data, right? We want to print cars. We know that the cars data is now stored in work, right? So we put work dot cars and then we run this. Everyone getting this? I just want you to just work on this so that for those who are very much not familiar with it, make it more easier. Okay, it's because you did not run the cars in the initial state. You need to click on SAS help. Run this first. Okay. I can also use the code. I'm going to bring it out here. Clarity, right? Data, cars, set, SAS help.cars, run. Okay. The reason why I want to bring this is for those who do not want to go there, click on all those things. Okay. We wanted to go with this particular statement where we are getting the data, which is actually in SAS help, right? Or data is in SAS help. It is in cars. So we need to set SAS help.cars and we are naming that particular data as cars. Okay. So for maybe for initially, I want to make this as auto. Okay. So I bring this as auto. So I just run this. You can very well see that in my work directory or in my work library, I don't have something called as auto. So I run this. Okay. So what happens? I'm getting my data from SAS help.cars. I set it. And this is actually being reflected in the new data set called auto. Right. So you can click libraries and you check work. You can find out that there is another data set called auto. Right. So when you click this auto, you will find the data here. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is instead of having data equal to work.cars, I can just put data equal to auto. as simple, right? So because I already have the data auto. Right. So now I just use proc print data equal to auto run. Okay. So to make it more appropriate. Okay, so please try it now. Is everyone getting it? Yes, Samra. So you're getting the output? Okay, good. Okay, initially, if you want to run the cars data, just you need to go to the libraries, go to help, just click on cars. You'll get this cars displayed, right? So here you can very well see these icons, right? I'm sure you can see in the mouse pointer. You just click on this particular display the code, right? So as mentioned, for some of codes are already written, right? Even for graphs, most of the graphs, if you go to graphs, you can use to write written codes already. You just output the graph and check with this display code, we'll get the code. So here you can see there is a proc SQL where create table work.query as select all the attributes are provided from SAS help.cars. So this is where the data has been fetched from SAS help.cars. Right. So once this has been executed, we block this and run this. Right. But please take note. So here they did not put it as cars, they put it as work.details. Right. So if in case I'm going to use some other variable, maybe what I can use now, maybe I can use auto1. I need to put it here. I'll repeat this 2 or 3 times, okay, so that we understand the logic behind what is happening. We run this, it's executing fine because we already have the code. So we already had auto, I'm just renamed as auto1. So when you go to libraries, check with work, we have another data set called auto1. Are we getting it? Are everyone able to understand what is happening? How are we trying to get the code from SAS? Please only when you practice it from your side, okay, you can get it. I also encourage others who are doing it, please share the screenshots from your side so that we know that everybody is doing it. So this is some sort of a lab session we always practice. In online, we always encourage this. You can share You can just put screenshots in the chat. It is just here, like chat, how you type, just screenshot it. Just click over here. You need to give Control V. So it will paste here. So can I get some output from others? Those are already done. Or if still anybody having doubts, I can repeat it once again, no issues. Okay, so it's a very good question, like results and output data. So in output data, we'll be getting the data, right, as rows and columns. In results, we'll be getting all descriptive details because we had used proc data set, right? And we have used proc SQL and we have analyzed the particular data set, right? So the results will give us a very good clarity on the data set procedure. Like what are the observations? What are the variables? Do we have any indexes? All these details will be in the result section. So that you can observe. Regarding the data, it will be provided in the output data. Okay, very good. Yes, NG, are you Ang Pao? You're getting any error? Maybe because you put print data equal to auto, right? And you have not set auto, right? Or you need to give data as auto. Is it clear? No worries. See here, what we have done is we set the particular data set. Okay, the reason why I started with the second line because for our understanding that we are discussing about SAS help. First line, we are talking about data, right? Data auto, which means auto is a data set, right? It's a new data set. Okay. And I'm going to get the value for auto through set, right? Only when I set SAS help.cars, the values or the records of cars will be updated to auto, right? So data auto creates auto, right? And waiting for data. So now when we say set SAS help.cars, and when we run this, what happens? The data from cars is loaded to auto. To print this, what we do? We use proc statement, proc print data equal to auto and run. Right? Are you getting it now?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Thank you. How about others? Anybody having any issues or something? Is everything okay? Okay, maybe you do not get the auto one. Sure. Because is not initialized. Okay, so please, in SAS, we have this good option of just blocking the particular code and executing. There is no need to run the code just like that, which means that it will execute all the lines. Instead, we can just block the code and execute only that particular chunk of code which needs to be executed. So I just block this and I execute it. Are we getting it? So initially what it did, we just did something called initialization and then we print it out, right? Or Crystal can get print auto, but she'll get error for auto 1. Am I right? Okay, good. Very good. Okay. So I'm sure everybody is getting this, no doubts. Okay, so now are we having a very clear understanding about this concept? Right. So what is happening? We are just trying to get data, right? We are trying to initialize a new data set and we are trying to import or bring all the data from this source to our new source. So that is the reason why we have data. So now we are trying to get a very clear understanding on data and proc. Right. In some PDFs, they would give library, right? Okay, so here in SAS Studio, we go with SAS help because all our data set is in SAS help. Okay, we use cars. So maybe if in case we are going to use something like we have one good thing, BMT. Okay, that's a very big data set. Class is a good one. Yes. Right, there's one data set called class. Okay. I want to create a new. Here in SAS, I think you would have noted now, it's not case sensitive. Okay, please take note of it. It is not case sensitive. Data. Class. Okay, or maybe you can put class 1 for namesake. To, oh, sorry, SAS help dot as semicolon. So what I'm doing, I'm just blocking this, running it. Right. So I'm just showing you some difference. So when I just block this and run this, you can see there's nothing in the result, but I have some output. Right. And you can see that the table is called as work.class1. Right. Are you seeing this work.class1, which means the data from class has already been uploaded to class 1. Right. OK, now I'm using print. Now we already have data called class, right? Data equal to data equal to class 1 run. I'm just executing this. Right. Am I getting output or am I getting result? Right. So are you getting some clarity here? Please execute it and check it out. And once again, now I want somebody to give your input on or understanding on result and output. Because something I just want you to get from your hands-on practice and what is your output. On these things are clear, right? Once we start building functions and when we start doing other things, it will become more easier. Because by tomorrow I'll be giving you some exercise, right? Which you can start doing. And then maybe on Saturday, you can just, we can discuss the answers. Yes, class, is everybody getting it? Okay, fine. Okay. How about others? Is everyone getting it? Is anybody there who is having some doubt in this, right? Having some doubt on getting the data and the print? Because only when you practice from your side, maybe you may think that with this very small essential things, but is everybody getting it? Samra, Kenji, Wong, Chikyo, Kalib, Ahmad, Praveen, thank you. Crystal, Donny, Fiona, Pura, Junita. I'm just trying to call some names from the chat. Okay. Okay, class. So I'm sure that everybody's progressing. It's time that we have a break. Okay. So I just want you to just check whether you're able to follow this once again. Okay, so please take your break, refresh yourself. We can back at 8:15, right? Okay. Okay, thank you. Is everyone okay? Please refresh yourself. Please take the break. I'm getting some response. Yes, thank you. Fine, good. Class will come back. Hope everybody is progressing well. Okay, can we go with attendance before we start? So please mark your attendance. Shah Patel, Juan Singh, Junita Marilyn,
Hello, sir.
Caleb, Crystal, Binti Idris, Noor, Rasilina
Yes,
Binti
sir.
Idris, Xing, Chongsheng, Tyageshwanan, Tyagesh. Shing is also not here. Okay. Because of many cohorts, we're getting little delay in our. It's okay.
Hi, sir. I wanted to sign my attendance from the previous one. I couldn't. Could you just help me update, please?
Who's that?
Junita? From the earlier one. Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I
we
was
mark
having
your
error.
attendance mark. You can check.
Thank you. Okay, okay.
That
Thanks.
is marked.
Oh,
Kindly
okay.
check. Kindly check. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, sir.
My Dion. My Dion is not here. Noor Farah Atik. Noor Farah Atik is not here. Okay.
Sorry, sir. I think I missed the attendance.
Okay, who's that?
Crystal here.
Okay, ma. We already updated. Kindly
Okay.
check.
Thank you.
Okay, so for Noor, Shabrina, Binti, mine both cannot. What is that? I cannot understand. So is
I
it
think done already, sir. Thank you.
okay? Maybe
Done.
after is it?
Thank
Okay.
you. Okay.
Code, all code is working, right? SQL or SAS code, no issues. Okay, very good. So now, actually, I wanted to give you this code, okay, but it's fine, no issues. Okay, nothing to go complicated for now. We will make it very simple. Okay, where is the code? Yeah, fine. So just recap fast: data step, proc step, right? Remember these two. So for reporting, statistical analysis, time series, graphs, and utilities, we use very well in procedures, right? So please remember these for focus for SAS procedures. Okay, remember proc contents, proc sort, proc format, proc print, proc frequencies, proc means, proc SQL. These are not just procedures, but these procedures we use often, right? We still use univariate and all those things, but these are the some of the often things are most widely used, right, in SAS. Okay, so that's the reason why I just want you to remember these procedures: content, sort, format, print, frequency, means, and SQL. Right? We'll try to discuss and complete all these things by today, or maybe in case I can just upload this slide so that others, when you have free time, you can just try to do it by today or tomorrow. No issues. So regarding proc print, right, we have good exposure. So in SAS procedures use these statements for title, footnote, label, where, by, and format. Okay. So title can have up to 10 titles, right? Title. For title, please remember you need to give single quotes, end with a semicolon. All statements ends with a semicolon, right? You may wonder, in data lines in data, we didn't use semicolon for the data lines, right? For those, it is just the content. Okay, the whole content has taken as one particular chunk of data. That's the reason why for each and every data line, we did not give a semicolon. We just put semicolon only at the end of the data line. Good. So title statements are global. It stays in effect until you submit a new title statement. To cancel, submit null title statement. So are we clear? You understand what's the meaning of title? Okay. So how do we use this? Just insert somewhere here. Where is our code? Okay. So here we have one code, right? Just execute this once again so that it doesn't. Yeah, fine. So I want to put the title. Right. I can put the title here. No issues. Maybe I just put intro to the first program. And what we do, we just run this code. Is an error. Why? Because we didn't put semicolon. Right. So in output, we cannot see this. That's the reason why we emphasize putting it along with a print. Okay. So we get output data. So in result, we get all the other data, right? All the other data. So here in put into a intro. So it gives a title for our report. So it gives some more clarity on what we want to do. We can also give a comment, but comment is only for program, right? For here, when you want to put it in a report, we need to use the title. It's a very simple one, but as a good programmer, right, I know that all of you will really support me saying that we need to have a good title, right? Okay. Okay. So make it fast. You can just give your updates here in the chat once you do the program. The reason why I'm insisting this, right? Don't feel that something demanding or something. Okay, this is just to make sure that we just keep hands on. We may think, okay, these are very simple things. Maybe I can just work it out later, but when just do it now along with the tutor or the lecturer, right? It becomes more easy and you also practice it as well. Right? If in case you're with your system now, okay, please do that and get us the screenshot, right? Okay. I'm sure all of you are very clear with the title. So title, you can have up till title 10, right? Okay. So title. Long title. So what happens here when you give title 10? You can see there is a very big gap here, right? That is what it is all about. This is just mainly for giving some sort of format, like how you use for HTML, right? In HTML tags, you use all these heads, right? Like head 1, head 2, head 3, right? So something like that, no issues. But you can't go beyond 10. In case you go 11, it doesn't give anything, right? You can see the color changes automatically because it is an accept. Okay. And similarly, title 1 and title is both same, right? Doesn't have any big difference. So this is all about title. Similarly, we have something called as footnote. So can have up to 10 footnotes. So footnotes are also global, right? So it helps us to give some sort of a footnote maybe for end of the report, right? Okay. So we have some output here from Samra. Thank you. Thank you, Samra, for your good output. I also encourage others. Fine. Okay. So here I want to have an output after my program. Okay. So I just say footnote. All right. End of the program. Okay, fine. Now, what will be my output? Thank you, Muhammad Yusuf. What will be my output? I'm expecting something like in the result, there should be some end, right? Okay, but I will not get an output. Why? Because it is after run. Only when something is ended with a run, it executes. So I'm just going to show this to you so that if in case you do something like this, you also be well aware of. Okay, I'm blocking this. I'm running this. Very good. I don't get an output, right? Because we very well know that the code is executing after run, which means that it doesn't have any effect. So I need to use it before run, right? I put it over here. And so it executes clearly. So now I run this. I get my output very clear. End of the program, right? So I have a title. I have a footnote. So it gives some clarity of for my particular report, right? As simple as that, but it's good to have something like this, right? So all of you getting this? How to give footnote, right? And where to give footnote, that's very important. For this, no issues because even though I'm giving it before the program, anyway, because I'm having a run, title gets executed. But if in case I'm using footnote after run and I'm only running whole thing also, no issues, but it doesn't execute because footnote should terminate with a run. Title should terminate with a run. Is it clear, all of you? Okay, Leo is having a good. Okay, thank you. Sure, everybody is getting it. Is it advisable to place and to place title and yeah, no issues. No issues. It's all about how you arrange it, right? Okay. Fine. To the next one. It's a very good thing. Please, you can experiment all these things. I really encourage that. And I'm really thankful for wonderful inputs here. Fine. This is about the footnote. Next, we have label. Okay. So label statement applies labels to variables. So what is label actually? So whenever you buy some book, right, or when you buy a small test note, you wrap it up and then you put a label, right, which means makes it more understandable, right? It doesn't change anything, right? It doesn't change the content or what it is. It just gives us a clarity for the particular content. So labels are useful when variable names are too short or too long, or maybe we don't have a clarity on the particular label, right? Or the particular attribute name. So generally label variable, right, equal to the particular label name what we wanted to put. So this is going to be used. It can be used in a proc step, right? Label can apply only to the procedure, and data step labels are saved in the data set. So for clarity's sake, when you put it in the procedure, it applies only to the procedure, like how we run that particular procedure, it applies onto the procedure until it's executed. Whereas when we put it in data, we are very well aware that in data, it gets stored in the data set, right? Okay. So the syntax is very clear, sorry. Label variable equal to within quotes what label variable we wanted to put. Okay, so here okay, maybe I'm not clear with the age or height, right? Just for namesake. Okay, so maybe for age I put age of the person, right? So what I put here, insert date, I put the data. Okay, I put label. What label I want to put? Please understand the syntax: label, variable name. So what is variable name? Age. I just put right. So you may expect something to happen over here. Nothing will happen here. Why? Because we are just only use the label, right? Okay, so it will be affected in the data set. So which means that we have the columns name, right? So you can see here what is the label name, right? We have the length, we have the type. I'm sure all of you are noticing it here, right? You can see my mouse pointing to it. So for name, the label is name, right? For sex, label is sex. For age, we put the age as label as age of the person. So it is reflected over the label, right? All of you getting this? Is everyone getting this point? Label. Any doubt on this label? Okay, fine. Go to where? Okay, so I'm not going to execute it. All these things we'll be executing this in a very good program. So I just wanted to understand these few slides before we write a solid program as such. So where statement, as name suggests, it gives us a clarity for giving any condition, right? When we wanted to say that, okay, I wanted to go with age greater than this value, where age greater than 21. If in case we wanted to say that only those people who are greater than 21 can vote. So we say condition where age greater than equal to 21. Or we wanted to pick that particular name whose name is Wong, right? So where name equal to Wong. Or I wanted to have both these conditions satisfied, right? So I say where name equal to Wong and age greater than equal to 21, right? So here just understand that we're using and A and D for both the conditions to be true. If in case you want any one condition to true, we can use or. So if the name is Wong or age is greater than 21, our statements that we want to get executed will execute, right? So this is about where condition. So this where condition where you would have used in any other programming language is also applicable in SAS. No big doubts. So I'm sure all of you have done this. Okay, so maybe what I want to do now is, because some of the codes what we are going to do is based on this, right? I'll be giving you this code here in Teams. So you can just copy this code, just do small alterations, just checking the space, okay? And then you can execute it in your SAS. Oh my God, it goes very big. Just give me a second. I'm just copying it for you, okay? possible, you can just input maybe some few lines, okay, for us to execute some of the codes. Can you do it now? Just run this small code. Data students input ID. Maybe I can give you another program, no issues. Fine, no issues. Okay, anyway, I'm sure that you can type it. Okay, is it possible that you can use SAS code, type this out, get the result? If anybody's completed, you can put the coding code here. So you can use that code, no issues. Please type this code in SAS. So we'll get the data now. Data students input ID space dollar name dollar amount paid course dollar new. So why do we use a dollar? Do you remember now?
To represent characters.
Yes. So here now we put ID as a character, name is a character, course is a character. Amount paid and new or numeric. Okay. Very good. So I want others can also copy this code. Azirina Binti. Thank you. Right. So now we have a data called students, which we can also confirm from work. In work, we will have students, right? Yes. So we have done this code successfully. Okay, very good. Thank you, Azarina. Others also can use this code. Have everybody done this? So I think this particular code we already have discussed. So this is nothing but data name, right? So we are trying to put all these data values inside students. So input will get the variable names, right? So input ID, right? Dollar, which means ID is a variable, name dollar, amount paid is numeric, course dollar, which means course is also character, and then new. So and then we start giving the declaration of data using data lines, right? And once we are finished, we put semicolon to complete all the data lines, and then we give run. Okay, good. Now, SAS dataset have two portions, data and descriptor. Proc content produces report of descriptor information. Like example, proc contents data equal to students run, right? So what happens here? So we say proc content produces report of a descriptor information, right? So we'll try to do that. What do you do now? Contents, right? So when you actually go to this IntelliSense, right? SAS also gives us a description of the particular procedure. So here content procedure shows the content of a SAS dataset and prints directly of the SAS library, right? So proc. What are we going to use? Data is students, right? So we run this code. So here we get description about the students. So what is the student actually? It is work dot student, because we already have discussed that we have the data inside work. So it is work dot students. Member type is data. Engine is B9. Version 9, right? So the date created. So this is what we call as metadata, right? I'm sure most of you will understand, right? And some descriptions about it. And then we also have the list of variables and attributes regarding it. What is a variable, what's the type, and what's the length, right? Hope everybody's getting this. So we have just discussed about what is it than in content. So far we discussed only about proc print, right? We know what is data, now we know what is proc print. Now we have discussed about proc contents. Is everyone clear in this? Everybody clear with proc contents? So you will not forget this, right? Okay, thank you.
Sir,
So
can
I
you
just
repeat back about the metadata just now? You mentioned about the metadata just now. Can you repeat back?
Okay, okay. So we run this, we get some details, right? So when it is created, when was it last modified, what are the observations, right? What is that particular place where it is, the store, the content where it is actually. So this is usually the contents in metadata. Agreed? So what is that metadata? Usually we did data about data, right? We don't have the contents of the data, but we have what are the properties of the data, what is the source, who is the author, right? All those data should be there in the metadata, right? So that is what we talk about the contents procedures. It gives us a detail about that particular data. Is it clear now?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So content procedure, right? We have the engine, the host dependent information. All those details are very well discussed in this particular proc contents. As the name suggests, contents will give these details, right? As simple. And also the contents procedure, right? That you need to browse down. So please remember that you need to browse down, right? Only then you'll get these details. So whenever you're going to use this for your any application, make sure that you block it and then print it out. No issues. Next, procedure sort, right? Sorting. General form, procedure sort, data equal that particular data set, right? Out to the data set name. Similarly, like how we use data name here, the same procedure, data equal to that particular data name, out equal to the particular data name. Out means you understand, right? Which means that where we wanted to export or where we wanted our contents to be stored. That is out, right? So data equal to means that particular data that we are trying to discuss. So all sort by the variable 1, 2 until which particular variable you wanted to discuss. So if no out, then replace that data set, which is not actually advisable, right? Okay. So default ordering is ascending. To reverse, we can use descending, which means that can use by descending variable, right? The missing is always smaller, which means that we always go with the ascending order. So the coding is proc sort, right? So we discussed proc print, proc content, we're going to proc sort. Proc sort, data equal to students, out equal to student sort by course and name. Maybe initially, maybe you can just use only one variable. Maybe you can just use by name. Later you can use by course, and then you can just see what happens if I'm using both course and name, right? So proc sort is our procedure and data equal to where my data is, out equal to where I wanted to put my sorted data by which variable I wanted to sort, right? Let me try this now. Okay. yes, because I wanted to. Data is students. I want to put class sort or students. By name. Okay, I want to use only by name. So initially our prop data students. Right. So we have Adam, Michael, Jacob, Zina. So it's not ordered. So we'll just check whether our code is working fine. Of course, our code is working fine. We have the missing one because it takes as a value. So Adam, Army, then until Zina, right? So I'm sure everybody's getting this. So these are some of the codes that will be useful for data preparation as well when you want to sort some data. Okay, good. Liu has given the output. How about others? Others.
Hello, sir. I got this error message because just now I tried to create a syntax.
Okay.
Also, I got a problem here because just now I tried to create something use macro, and then after I run the macro, then having this problem, and then whatever code I write, it will keep popping up this error message. I'm trying to read through my code. It seems like I cannot find it. I don't know what happened.
The quoted string currently being processed has become more than 256 byte long. You might have unbalanced. Okay, can you see? Can you show the code? Okay, yeah, it's showing unbalanced quotation. Okay, you can go to the code. Yeah, just block that and run it. Oh. Okay, maybe you can just copy that program, okay, to another SAS file. There's a macro running in the background. Okay, no issues. We'll share the code now. You can copy that code because I cannot see the code exactly very well here.
Hello, sir. Are you sharing anything, or you want me to share some code here?
No, I'm sharing the code.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the same code. You can just copy this code and you can use this.
Okay.
Others are getting it right. Anybody having any issues in sorting? Those who got the code, you can put it over here in the chat. So others are encouraged.
So I think you haven't sent the code yet.
Okay. Did you get the code? Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay, from Samara, very good. Samara is used sort by course using title, very nice. From Mohammed Yusa, very good.
Not working as well, so I think something wrong. I think after that I will go and debug what is the problem. Thank you, sir.
Okay, maybe just log off your SAS and then
Okay,
just log out and then log in.
Thank you, sir. Let me try.
Because it's in the cloud. Sometimes it may create some problem. Maybe if in case, because I just saw some macro running. So maybe just close and then open it. It will execute, no issues.
Sir, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, fine. So I think everybody's getting it. Very good. Right. So always check the SAS log. Okay. It's a good thing that you always check the SAS log. You will get some interesting details like when you execute this sort. Right. You will know what is the output, what is the result. Right. Because I didn't print the result. I didn't get the result. You can see what is happening. Right. It will tell us some of the details about what is happening running in the code, like what observations, what's the time taken, where is our data. Okay. All these observations can be used in the log. And also you may note that sometimes even when there are some errors in the code, okay, SAS may show the errors as warnings, okay, or even as error, but it will give us the output because SAS can understand those errors and then it can go through it because of the compilation process it has been built with. Okay.
Also, the issue is resolved already after I log on again.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the kind update. Okay, so we have some SAS formats. Okay. So SAS formats tells SAS how to display the variables, right? Because we are very much interested in displaying the variables, and SAS has hundreds of built-in formats. So we are just trying to look into few of them, right? So character in general form, we know starts with dollar format W dot, right? Dollar format W dot. Data Alaska format something like $UP case E6, we get the result as Alaska. Okay, what are we doing here? Right. The general form is format W dot. That is the format for character. Dollar format W tells us that it is a character form. When we give the data as Alaska and we want the format as uppercase, right? Uppercase, and then we say that it is a 6-character word. We put 6 dot, so we can see our Alaska in the result as uppercase. Now for numeric, where format w.d. For character, we start with $. For numeric, we end with D, decimal, right? .d. Data is 1000, right? The format we are using is comma 8.2, comma 8.2. So what are we getting here? So we understand that we want something with 8 characters, right? And the decimal should be 2. So if we count here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You need to count both dot as well as comma. Please don't avoid that. Okay, and then the decimal will be 0.2, which means that from the left side. So this is our understanding about the formatting we use for character and numeric. So specify formats with the format statement, FORMAT. So tell SAS how to display a variable. The general form is form variable list format dot, right? Which means whether you're going to put W or D. Okay, variable list format. So example format price, right? $8.2.
So I can't visualize what you say. I mean, do you mean to share a screen?
Is the screen not shared?
Or is it just me?
Yeah, I can see your screen, sir.
Oh, how about others? Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir, you can see your screen. Yes.
Oh, okay, thank you. Because it happened in one of the classes during online. I'm not sure about those students, what really happened. Maybe after much time, they inform me the screen is not shared. I was wondering, like, okay, fine. Okay, fine, no issues. So format price $8.2. Okay, date DD Y 10 point. Why do you put 10? For the format, right? Okay, so in procedure step, formats apply only to that procedure, right? Only to that particular procedure where we are putting that format, like how we use label, right? Okay, so in data step, formats are saved in data set, right? How very well resembles the label statement, right? So we just remember the format, like for price we wanted to put $8.2, for date we want to put DD YY10. So you can create your own user defined formats. So general form is proc format value name range 1 is equal to formatted text 1, range 2 formatted text 2, range n, right, until 3 2 like that. Anyway, range n format text hyphen n. So for example, proc format value new student, right? The name 1 is equal to yes, 0 equal to no, other equal to question mark, right? So this will be applicable, right, when we wanted to use this in one particular format. Okay, so maybe I can give you an example along with this format. Okay, or maybe you can also try with our own example what we are using it here. Okay, because we have new, right, 1 and 0. Okay, so can you just try this? Proc format
Is this slide uploaded in Moodle or Team?
I didn't understand what was that? Okay, no issues. Okay, I want to go with proc print. Okay, so this proc format. Okay, I want to give you another good example. Nothing to worry about this. Okay. Over. Okay, so proc print, we have this proc general form, proc print options, variable list. Okay, so here we wanted to get this new variable understanding with this proc print statements, NOOBS, okay, which removes observation numbers, right? No observation. That is what we call as NOOBS, removes observation numbers, and use labels instead of variable names. So sometimes we understood that there are some variables which needs to have some labels, right? Because those variable names are not so much easier to understand. So we can use labels as such for our print. So options is available in that particular concern. So optional statements like sum variable list, it can print sums. When you put sum and when you put the variable list, it gives the sum. Okay, so here, so for example, proc print data equal to student sort, variable is course name, ID, new, amount paid. So now we are able to bring out a new way of printing it because we did not store it in this way, right? We used ID, name, right? Amount paid, course, and new. So now when we say proc print data equal to student sort, and based on the variables, it gives us this particular output. Is this clear? Are we able to understand this?
So can you write the proc format and share with us how to write the proc format? Proc format.
Okay, proc format. Okay, I wanted to give another output because that one is what I want to say. Like I want to give another big program. Okay, along with all the other features. So that's the reason why I said we can go with a print.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Okay, so can we execute the print now? How do we want to execute this? Because we already had ID, name, amount, course, new, but we just wanted to go with this particular selection, right? I want to have course first, name, ID, new, and amount paid. Right, because we already have student sort. We want to put data as student sort. Did we have student dot already? Okay, we'll just try this out. Okay, fine. So I have this data, so I can use this data. I want others also to try this proc print. Okay, data equal to that particular. Is where we have the data. So here I'm using data equal to sort students. Variables I want to use. I want to go with name, This name, check whether we are using the same thing. Or we can use ID to an amount. I capital D. Yes. Amount paid. Okay, so we are able to use this variables along with the particular way we want to do it. Okay, so if in case you wanted to have the variable, okay, can anyone use the variable also to check whether variable is working? Can you get the output on that? Yes, correct. It helps us to rearrange the sequence and label. We can print the label also. Right? So I want the output with a label. Oh, can anyone give the output now? With a new label, maybe what label we can say? Maybe put AMT paid as amount paid. Okay, maybe AMT paid as amount paid, a new label called amount paid. Yes. Thank you, Raymond. Raymond has also introduced Chinese inside the SAS. Very good. So can we get the code where you use label, right, in your program? Are you able to understand the question? Is everyone getting it? No issues, right? Because once we cast these things done, right, others makes it more easier to follow on all those things. So those who got the output, you can just put it in the screenshot. No doubts, right? So we can continue. Or you're trying. How to introduce labels into proc. Okay, so I want you to run this program before we end class for today. Proc print data equal to student dot label no OBS variable course name ID new amount paid sum amount paid where amount paid is not equal to dot title fall quarter registrations footnote paid registrations only label is amount paid equal to amount paid. So this is what I was expecting. Right. ID equal to student ID. New equal to student. New student. Format. Amount paid. $9.2. New new student, stu dot run, right? So with this program, we stop for today. I want you to execute this program, run the program, get us out. I'm sure many of you are tired already. Sorry for that. Is anybody having any doubt in this line of any line of code? So this particular thing, I'm not sure what is happening. I'm sure all of you do understand this code, right? The reason why I'm asking you to write this code, execute it. Okay. To just make sure that we complete one activity where we have done many functions in this particular chunk of code. So got the output, not yet, still working. Okay, fine. Wow. Super. Solution. Appreciate. How about others, please? I want to appreciate everyone. So I think now we are able to get in terms with SAS, right? Or some of the functionalities with SAS. Okay, from Noor Sabrina. Very good. Thank you. Thank you for your good output. Noor Sabrina. Very good. I really appreciate it. From Kong, course name, student ID, amount paid. Very good. We are getting some also, right? Paid registration only. So we can very well understand, right? The title, the way in which nicely done. Thank you, dear students, dear class. Hope everybody is clear with our understanding, right? So tomorrow we'll see some more functions like mean. Okay, I don't want to put everything today and boil your. Okay, so those who are completed, slow learner here will pick up accordingly. No. I'm sure nobody's slow learner here, right? Because of your work, you're tired already, and you understand that, no issues. Okay, it's all about trained memory and untrained memory. Please, when you have time, just work it out. That's the only thing I'm just putting it as a small general guideline. Okay. Very good. So we have very wonderful outcomes. Thank you, class. Okay. So tomorrow we try to do some more functions on this. Okay, and then we'll discuss the assignment. Okay, once again, so that we get some more details regarding what is your progress in the assignment. Okay, and tomorrow maybe I can also give you some exercise. Okay, so that on Saturday we can discuss them to see your output from your side. Right? Is it okay? Because I don't want to give it on Saturday and get that Sunday. At least if you can have some free time on Sunday. Okay, thank you, class. Good day. Okay, we meet tomorrow. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. Okay, it's really good discussion, conversations today. We did discuss many things today. Wonderful. Thank you. Good night, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Noor. Thank you, Angelina, Praveen, Ong Pao, Pong, Kenji, Tan. So we stop the recording.